Hello, welcome to another unboxing. This time, it's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This is the 50th anniversary, and the reason I bought it a few years later is that it was over £100 when it came out, 130 I think, and I managed to pick this up for 80. I don't think it's going to get much cheaper. It's got this lovely lanicular cover. I'm trying to get the sheen off of it. You can sort of see most of it anyway. Beautiful cover. Okay, so this is the deluxe with the mono version. My friend's got it, so I've already heard it, and I like the new recording. It is sort of a bit more punchy, there's more bass to it, but I've got to say, there's a mono version, I think from 1966 in here, and that was the winner for me. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And there was one or two places where there was a slight note on the guitar different from the original, so that made me sort of go, ooh, it's not quite the same. So, and a lot of the Beatles stuff was mixed in mono and then converted to stereo, so maybe that was its truest form, I don't know. Anyway, so let's see what we get in this rather nice deluxe presentation box. So let's just show you that, if you wish to pause it. There they are at the bottom. Now you would think that this was the LP version, but this is the CD version. So let's take that nice cover off. So this is a really nice copy of the original reel-to-reel that there would have been. I think it was a 4-track, or what does it say on here? Let's see. There's a few notes, not many. Sgt. Pepper's, Help from My Friends, Lucy in the Sky, Getting Better, Fixing Hole, She's Leaving Home, Benefit of Mr. Kite, which is I think the original order it was intended to be in. There we are, 28th of the 4th, 67. Date there. So that's quite nice. On the back as well. Let me just zoom in there. There we go. Within Without You, When I'm 64, Lovely Rita, Good Morning. Sgt. Pepper, Day in the Life. I didn't realise until quite recently that Good Morning was actually a take on advertising, sort of cereal and that sort of things, where you get up and everything's sort of great in these adverts. I didn't realise that until I saw the bootleg Beatles in Bristol last Christmas, and that was mentioned. Or was it on this? It might have been, no, it was on this. It was on there's a great documentary in here, which I hadn't seen for a long time, and it's restored as well. Okay. Right, this bit's sealed. So let's get that out. Still feels like it's going to be a record out. Vinyl. Still feels like vinyl. Okay, let's put this to one side. So what have we got here? This feels quite light actually, this one. Oh, we've got all sorts. Of course, I had this. This is in the LP. We can cut out the badges and little pop-ups and things. I guess most people probably left it like it was, because I guess most people that had it was older. But I had my first copy when I was about, I think, 8 or 9, and it didn't have that in because it was a second-hand one that I had. So it was nice to get that when I was a bit older. Okay, so that's the cutout. Now what else have we got here? Okay, so this is the original advertising. Let's just zoom out a moment. That John Lennon saw I'm not sure, probably somewhere in Liverpool, maybe in an antique shop or something. Because in The Benefit of Mr. Kite, he mentions the Pablo Francis fair. Little Pablo Francis fair for the benefit of Mr. Kite. So there we are, the celebrated Somerset thrower. So this actually was a real poster. This is not a made-up one to go with the music. It's the other way round. He saw this first and then based that song on this here poster. And I've got my own copy. That's rather nice. Let's just do a bit closer there, in case you wish to pause. There we go. And we've also got a poster. I seem to remember having this as well. I think this might have been in the original album. Don't remember that though. I remember this picture. Of course, this is this is the same picture as when you open up the album, isn't it? The inner sleeve, or two sleeves. I don't like the quality of the print here. It's not great. The contrast seems a bit harsh on this. Okay, so now what do we open up? So we've done the poster, we've done Mr. Kite, we've done the selection of badges and pop-ups, which I'll put to one side. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Okay, so that's the original album cover with Hitler removed. I think you can see the photography session, and you might have it in here actually, and the ones they decided to take out, and there was Hitler on the side. I think, was it Jesus as well? Oh, it's nice to see. There's Oscar Wilde there, just noticed. That really reminds me of Peters and Lee. I wonder how many people remember Peters and Lee. It really looks like him, but it's not him. It's Bob Dylan up there, of course. Diana Dors. And the one thing I didn't notice, that I had never noticed, is there is a... Where is it now? Oh no, it's underneath there, I think. There's another doll. Is it there? It was some woman that crocheted or knitted dolls or something, and they had to have that in there. I think it's there. Again, it's quite... I think it's just about the same as the album. I think it's a bit deeper contrast because there's the wax models of them there. Nice to see Laura and Hardy in there. I don't need to go through this, do I? I mean, I expect most of you know this. Okay, so this is the one with all the CDs and what have yous in it. Okay. So let's go through them one at a time. So CD 1. And I'll just pop that there. Just to freeze that. So that's the new stereo mix, which I really like. It's got more bass. That's what I like about it. It's a bit more punchy. It's been compressed, so it sounds a little bit louder. But a lot of people don't like compression because you can always turn the volume up, can't you? And it changes the dynamics, so it depends on your hi-fi, I guess. And here we are, an alternative picture there, which is really nice to see. And which one is this? Oh, this is Different Takes. Strawberry Fields. Because apparently I think the first track that they did record when they didn't really know exactly the direction it was all going to form was Strawberry Fields. And of course that ended up on the Magical Mystery Tour. But it was the first thing recorded. It was going to be on Sgt. Pepper's. I think there's a nice video if you have a look on YouTube of Strawberry Fields. Quite a nice one where they're in trees and there's sort of lights and things. Very early video. So there we are. So that's Different Takes of things. I guess I'm just going through this now, just in case anyone's wondering, should I get this or not? This is still quite a lot of money. I mean, £80 is still quite a lot for basically, really. I mean, you can buy this one separately, actually. You can buy the original, the new mix, separately. So that's not an issue. But if you want all the gubbins and what have you, I'm not too worried about the posters and what have you. But I do like these extra ones. And, of course, the film as well. Okay, so the third one. And what's the difference of this one? Sgt. Pepper's Sessions. So it's stereo again. So I guess these are slightly different mixes. Long play, it says, stereo. So I guess we'll get a bit of talking on this one as well, as far as I remember. So I've only heard it once on a friend's house. And number 4. And in my view, this is the star of the show, because I think this sounds fantastic. So I say there's one or two very small changes. There's one or two guitar notes that are slightly different, or riffs, but unless you know the album pretty well, you probably wouldn't notice. It's only one or two. It's not like wow, or it sounds completely different. It's virtually the same as the released official Sgt. Pepper's one, but the monos is fantastic. It really is. It jumps out the speakers. I quite like this one, but I do like the new mix as well. And I love stereo. But, give mono a chance, because sometimes it can fill a room and make you listen slightly differently. So the mono one is very, very welcome addition. Okay, so we've got a DVD and a Blu-ray. I'm imagining it's the same. So what have we got on here? The Making of Sgt. Pepper, promotional films. Oh, it's got the Strawberry Fields one, and Penny Lane and Day in the Life. And audio content. And the Blu-ray, is it the same? Yeah, they're both the same, so. But I mean, in this day and age, really, you should have a Blu-ray and a 4K now, not a DVD. I mean, DVDs, we shouldn't be having DVDs now. Everything should be on Blu-ray at least, and Blu-ray should be the price that DVDs are. So I notice quite a lot of Blu-rays these days, about £15 a go. It's much better when they were $9.99. Should phase out DVDs by now and have everything on Blu-ray. And then the additional one should be the 4K or Ultra HD, whatever you want to call it. Slightly different from the film HD, isn't it? Right, so let's just have a close-up of this listing here. Okay, so there we are. That's what you're paying your money for. That's the same as the LP, as far as I can see. Looks the same. So it comes in the format of sort of like the album did. So what's this one then? Do you remember this? So I'm guessing we got a nice, we got a book with it. And that makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it? That's where the money's going. It's got a hardback book as well. Okay. Right. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? LSD colours. No, sorry, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds colours. Oh, so that's probably a John Lennon sketch, isn't it? More than likely. I think I'm just going to flick through it like this. Just so you can have a look at the pictures, really. I mean, if you want to get all the writing, buy it. Oh, so it is actually a really nice book to probably sit down and read while you're listening to all the different versions. So there's plenty to read in here. Oh, it's really nice Abbey Road pictures there. God, look at that. Wow. I expect it's all Valve as well. So it's a 4-track. Wasn't it? It was a 4-track. God, he did all that. I mean, I started off with other than having cassette recorders, I had a 244 Tascam, and it was a nightmare because you got to bounce 3 tracks down onto the 4th, and then you couldn't do anything with them. So you always have to put the drums first because couldn't record MIDI or anything like that back then. It's quite nice. This is January 1967, this photo here. So we've got little time bubbles of all different things. Let's just pick one out at random. 16th of Jan. In Alabama, Lucius D. Amerson is sworn in as the first African-American sheriff in the southern states since the 19th century. So it's what's happening in the world, I guess, around the time of the album. So parquet floor of the Studio 1, is it? Looks like a Mellotron, maybe, at the back there. No, it's too small to be a Mellotron. Definitely a transformer in the back there. And sound shields as well. Well, this is a really nice edition. Yeah, it's definitely something to put the CD on, put your feet up, cup of coffee, and sit back and have a read. Definitely think that's the way to go with this one. As I say, I'm not going to hold every single page up to be looked at in more detail because I'd rather you bought it. Nice colour. And to think Fender made them a 100-watt amp for when they did some of their big stadiums. And Ringo said it was a nightmare because they were playing through the PA and he was getting the echo back, and he had to try and look at the backs of them to see what they were playing to try and keep in time with them. It must have been a nightmare. I mean, a 100-watt amp, that's what Vox made. They were special order. The biggest ones they'd ever made are like the cabs with the things on top. But actually, that's before this. And I think when they were in the back of the security van being jostled about, I think that was the moment when they said, we're not going to tour anymore. And they wanted to do something different, and that's how this really came about. So it's just sat down and started thinking about what can we do. So one of the engineers in the white coat comes up to John Lennon and said, there's this new box of tricks we've got, and shows the settings, and this is how it should be. And then John Lennon, well, what happened if we turn them all up to 10? What does that do? So you can imagine it, can't you? A real constructive time, and still fighting against all the guys in their white, their white like doctors' outfits that were on all the controls. With his white coats, like the camera operators in the 60s as well. We've got more notes here. "19 minutes 28, 5th of April 1969. all different operations and times. With and without you is the first one here. 164, lovely Rita. Good morning, Sergeant Pepper reprise. Day in the life. Little notes is really interesting. I mustn't drift off too much because obviously you just want to see. I'm just doing this so you can see the pictures really. All sorts of handwritten stuff, really nice. I think this is harp for She's Leaving Home. Right. I know when they did Good Morning, they ended up stuffing the microphones right up inside the horns of the wind instruments to get that real loud rasping sound. So they were desperately trying to make it sound different. In fact, they spent such a long time working. These days, you could probably get an app on your phone and get some of the effects that they took ages working on to get, because the effects had never actually been in existence before. No one had demanded these sort of things before. This is why it was such an important album. Of course, with Revolver, they were already experimenting with reverse sounds. I've got to admit, Revolver is probably my favourite album, because that was really as things were coming about. Oh, here we go. So here's the wax models getting ready for the take. Yeah. That's a bit better. Still quite noisy though. I'm sure in my album it was a bit better than that. Of course, I had the commemorative CD of, what was that, 20 years ago it was, 20 years after, and that had this in the thing that came with it. There we are, there's Hitler. Decided to take that one out. I mean, I guess people think, oh, the 60s, it was like, you know, the time of great love, and, you know. But for most people, you were just probably getting on with working. I mean, there was only a few people that could actually, I mean, they were working as well on this. I doubt there were many people that could afford to just drop out and have a complete hippie 60s experience. Most people were trying to earn money to live. So I don't know. I think just looking back with rose-tinted glasses, maybe wrong. That's on the album as well. Well, there we are. That's a rather nice book. It's a nice, thick, hard copy. Designed to last, that. And a mock sort of vinyl for your CDs and Blu-rays and DVDs. Well, there we are. So thanks very much for watching. This was the Beatles 50th anniversary deluxe CD Blu-ray DVD set. See you again next time.